I'm going to read out aloud now some reviews published in the 2000s on radio music about The Diary by Scarface. This is a terrific release. But I'd like to read the perspectives, share the perspectives of those who were familiar with the album closer toward its release date. From Dread 2 on April 2005, ignore the people who've rated this album lower than 4.5. They simply don't understand where Scarface is coming from on The Diary. The Diary is simply one of rap's finest. Scarface totally kills it on this album. They say you should never read someone else's diary, you just might find things you may not like. Therefore, the one with the faint ear shouldn't hear what Scarface says. In this, he is trapped inside the mind of a lunatic. His brain is on lock and his lyrics are on point. He talks about vengeance on No Tears, where he describes how his payback will be, while in I Seen a Man Die, he explores the inner self and takes us on a journey through the life of a gangster. The White Sheet shares the same vein as No Tears, just with a more ruthless and street beat, with weaker rhymes. Goin Down seems to be the only mellow track on the album, excluding the intro and outro, giving the album a totally different feel. Hand of the Dead Body is the album's best, where it features its only guest appearance, Ice Cube. They speak of the government and politics in a politically correct way, and Scarface tears his opponents to bits on The Diary, a hard-hitting rock that'll splatter even the hardest rhymer. Scarface is truly an OG. He's shown us that since he was with the Ghetto Boys. The Diary truly sets the standards. Though it's a rap classic, it should be heard by those who are familiar with the lyrics and can handle it. Otherwise, forget it. Also, if you're collecting rap classics, then definitely pick this up. It's definitely worth the money. Ray Zell on December 2007. This might be Scarface's best album. He brings us the street tales with lots of passion and very graphic to boot. This is very clear on the classic and bone-chilling track I Seen a Man Die, which is all kinds of dope. I think this is one of the first Scarface tracks I ever heard, instantly making me a fan. This one track isn't the only classic track here, as there is also Jesse James, Mind Playing Tricks 94, and Hand of the Dead Body, which is assisted by Ice Cube. All tracks are equally genius. The only track that doesn't fit for the full 100% is the more playful Goin Down, but it is still a good track. Production on the album is outstanding, keeping with that southern gangster feel, and is mainly handled by N.O. Joe, Mike Dean, and Scarface himself. Like Scarface on the mic, the production never slips for even a second. This album is definitely a must-have for any hip-hop fan, as this is one of the more important pieces in hip-hop history, really solidifying Scarface's solo career. Now, we're going to read out from the legendary G.O.Z., September 2008. 1 year after another successful solo and Ghetto Boys album, Scarface is back again to school us on why he should be considered Illmatic, along with the millions of other artists that released excellent albums in the 9 square. Here's The Diary. Surprisingly, The Diary isn't the diary of a madman. Lyrically, Scarface isn't as psychopathic as he used to be. I guess Brad pled insanity after killing all those people on Mr. Scarface's back, till death do us part, and the world is yours. For whatever reason, they let the psycho back on the streets. Perhaps Face had Johnny Cochran as his lawyer. Face has calmed down since then, but that doesn't mean that the safety on his guns are on. The Diary is more of a standard gangster rap album. Instead of shooting anything that moves, Face is saving his bullets for all of his enemies around the way. And boy, is he merciless to his enemies. Listen to his first 3 songs. It's not quite as creative as some of Face's early material, but he's so good at what he does that it doesn't matter. And as far as creativity goes, his brilliant lyrics on I Seen a Man Die still remain some of the most creative lyrics in any rap song. What also helps Face sound so good is that he stepped his technical game up from the last few albums. His rapping has never been a problem, but he does sound a tiny bit more finessed here. In short, Face is as great as always. The Diary is entirely produced by Rap-A-Lot beatmakers Mike Dean and N.O. Joe, with minor help from Uncle Eddie. The funk here is a little cleaner than on earlier Rap-A-Lot releases, and I can't help but sense a little bit of G-funk influence. Does that mean the beats aren't too good? Hell no, it's Mike Dean and N.O. Joe we're talking about. All of the beats are smooth, funky, and perfect for Scarface's rapping. Similar to Mr. Scarface's back, there's but one highly questionable song that sabotages The Diary. Similar to any Scarface/Ghetto Boys album, this song is centered around sex. Actually, there are 2 songs, One and Goin Down. I used to really hate Goin Down a lot, but it's grown on me a little bit, with its cute 99 Red Balloons hook. I like the instrumental, for sure. So that gets a pass. Unfortunately, One does not. One is just pointless and stupid. I recommend this to fans of Scarface/Ghetto Boys, Rap-A-Lot artists, gangster rap, southern rap, and west coast rap. The Diary is an interesting album because it shows Scarface making the transition from one phase in his career to another. Not to mention that is some of the best gangster stuff out there. Does calling Scarface the best gangster rapper ever invite criticism from anyone? If so, why is that? And now from the also legendary Zephos, June 2009. Man, it's like 1994 was when rappers best understood everything, what they needed and what they didn't, and came out with economic and brilliant albums. Even the longer ones seemed well calculated, but mostly it was just the joy of just right lengths. This is pretty much Scarface's own Illmatic. He takes it all and boils it down to the essentials and nothing else. Exactly 10 tracks minus the free interludes. Beautiful. Content-wise, it's all an attempt at best capturing the basics of his work. What we get is one of the most quintessential, simple and sweet examples of gangster rap. Face has it all laid out here. The violence, the street politics, the regret and so forth. His performance has changed significantly from the past, where he was once more abrasive. He's now laid back and even slowed down, no doubt taking cues from fellow Texans UGK, and it does nothing to stop his dopeness. If anything, I found him even better this way. He's a great lyricist as always, and nothing's changed in that department except you can appreciate the rhymes easy with the slow pace. The biggest boost he gets in relation to the past is for the first time straight up amazing beats. They're very UGK influenced and extremely good. I always seem to dislike rap-a-lot beats, but I guess things changed for 94 because damn, these are good. In the end, what gets me the most is how gigantically better than the album he released a mere year ago this is. This was a glorious time for the South, and so I'm glad that its first king gets in on the action. I always admired Face, but this was the first time I felt like all the pieces came together for him. Absolutely satisfactory. I couldn't agree more with these positive assessments. This is an extremely engaging and entertaining album to listen to, worth re-listening to. I'll endorse it here. Absolutely. Thanks again.